So do clients like it to be thrown over the fence? Do they get involved in the contest drama? Do they like to participate, get involved in the forums and stuff like that? Or has it been mixed? You want clients that, are saying, great, go for it, run with it, show us the finished product? Or, hey, I'm in it, let's do it happen, let's make it happen. You guys have experience on both sides?
We advise our clients at some point, if they are not involved, their community won't exist. I mean, it won't prosper. So we love it when clients are physically involved. And we love it when it becomes a lot of interaction that is not necessarily brand related. When you start to know the children's names of your community, or their dog died and you send them a note, or stuff, right? It's relationships. It's amazing how powerful that becomes in the sense of building an intrinsic ownership. I think I love Drive, by the way, of gosh, I'm part of this brand. I'm a crafter. I'm part of this Elmer's brand, and they're using my voice to help make new glue, which is not exactly a talkable subject. We tell them all the time, glue is just not that interesting to talk about. But spending time it's not that sticky. Yeah, but spending time with my family and creating a connection with my children through creativity and creativity inspiration is, and very emotionally connective to the Elmer's cow brand. It's very cool.
We're seeing our clients who are engaging in it the most and getting kind of the most buy-in, and thus doing kind of the most evaluation themselves, really building a broad team internally, using the platform, getting a lot of their voices to help evaluate, are the ones who are not only having the most fun with it, but they're getting the best results. And I don't know if that's some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where they feel empowered and it was their curation, their decision that led to it, or ultimately they really, they live with it however many hours a week anyway, and they know best. But from our experience, that's been the case, and that's actually really fun to see. So, not only because it takes the burden off of us to do any of that work, which we really don't want to do because we don't pretend to know as much about the brand. But it's cool to watch, especially like when the more senior people in the organization kind of get involved in it and they kind of lose themselves a little bit in the process. It's neat. I think for them it's a distraction. It's a welcome distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're entirely self-serve, and when we survey our customers, the word that comes up most frequently is fun. They love the experience and they engage with the community, enjoy it a lot. One of the first things that you do when you're opening up a new company is you either open up a bank account or incorporate the business, or you get your logo done. So the logo is one of the first things they do, and they just find the process really fun and engaging, and seeing their business and ideas come to life, and then tell all their friends about 99 Designs and the great experience they had with us, which is largely how we've grown to date.
I think we're at the other end. I think we're at the other end of that spectrum. So we've got a lot of clients who are like, it might seem fun, but I really don't have time to deal with this. And they want to see in aggregate what's coming through, and they definitely want to hear. They want to understand the voice, but we're trying to find, and we're exploring ways that we can create a more contained playing field for our clients to hear from their consumers, to see it resolved and voted up or down or whatever, but certainly not in aggregate, all of the ideas, coming through the big fire hose and trying to drink from it. So we're at a different level. I certainly think when you're starting a company, because we actually use 99 Designs for our logo, plug for 99 Designs, and it was fun. It was really cool to do that. But then when you get into the status of a General Mills or a Harley Davidson or someone who's churning marketing programs, they literally don't have the time to review everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, smart brands, they partner with consumers because they scale the social good, and what you see today, like consumers, most importantly, they want to participate with the brands who are making them a partner in the co-creation or co-producing a story. So that's a powerful way of really tapping into the consumers and get the content and generate the content.
I wonder if it has something to do with the size. I mean, it really does. If you're going to, like Harley, that has these huge teams and marketing teams, whereas, you know, with 99, like the video on your site we did.
Yep.
And it was like, I remember the 5 of you were like all looking at it in a room and saying, well, we like that one and we like that one. Whereas we just did a TV spot for a company that's been around for 70 years, but this is their first TV commercial. They were a very small soda brand and very regional. So for them, it's really exciting to see 30 concepts come across the wire. Whereas when we did something for Pepsi a while back, it was, you know, this is a brand manager in Purchase, New York, who is working in a giant building, and they have a million things they have to do that day. And getting one more video for their website is probably not the most exciting thing that they have to deal with.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. But I think that they, you know, Pepsi, Coke, whoever, they do want to hear from their consumers. So
absolutely.
it's a matter of, you know, I think we've all said that crowdsourcing's evolving. We're just trying to find ways that consumers' voice, or even, you know, some of us just deal with advertising professionals. You know, whatever voice it is, we're trying to find a way to bring a representation through to the brand in a way that whoever that brand is, be it a startup or a, you know, or a Coca-Cola, that they can hear from their audience. Because I think that's the critical piece, is just finding a really manageable way to do it. Because Harley, for example, are dying to hear from their consumers. They're all about that. They've said that publicly, and you know, we're trying to find ways to do that for them that doesn't completely overwhelm them, because it will. Because people love Harley, so they've all, you know, everyone's got an opinion about it.
We find the merchant team, at Fortune 1 are pretty interested in this right now. That's our neighbor in Bentonville, if you can't figure out who Fortune 1 is.
Hi. I know we've talked mostly about the clients and ads and stuff like that, so I just want to bring up the content producers for a moment. So I know this is a growing industry, and it seems like eventually you might run out of people who are really good at this or doing it. So what tactics do you use to attract and retain good content producers? And also, on top of that, in the future, what sort of demands do you think they might be placing from companies like yourselves in the future as this industry grows?
Good question. Who wants to take that one? There's 3 in that.
I will. We try and pay them what they're worth as much as possible.
Yeah.
We try and pay them really well. And provide them with a great process that they understand exactly how they plug into, what's going to happen before, what's going to happen after, and great brands to work with, and great agencies, and the ability to like build their portfolio through that. So, I mean, that's the most important thing for us. We don't have a company without great affinity from the creators. So,
Rob?
Yeah, I was from just, I guess the initial reaction was, I think it's so early that like I think the size of our community, and I don't even think it's like a crumb of what it can become, just because we've seen talent from, you know, the Arctic Circle in Sweden that blows you away, you know. And when you think about, I think about sometimes I'll go state by state and see how many people have contributed from a specific state, and then I think how many people are in that state. I even think of myself in LA sometimes, saying how many million people are here, how many hundreds of thousands of people are here, and then so when I think about that, I think it has a ways to go. And so few people even know that it exists and the opportunity exists. But definitely we need to do, we all need to do we need to, I guess, evolve and improve what we bring them, both monetarily, exposure-wise. I think we need to listen to them and say, you know, what is it that you're interested in creating? It's not maybe just ads. You know, do you want to make longer form content? You know, how do you want to be exhibited? So I think, and I think that's kind of a lesson learned from what we talked about earlier with the agencies, is that I think if we don't listen and evolve, there's 3 kids in a garage outside of Stanford right now who are coming up with the next evolution of what we do, and you know, we'll be the ones. So I think it's incumbent upon us.
Yeah, I think there's 3 things we bring our crowd members. Is opportunity, so opportunity to work on exciting projects at any, you know, run of the gamut, whether you're interested in startups or creating, you know, the new advertising program for Dish. Income, so whether you're creating a fixed fee up front, I agree that you've got to pay people what they're worth, whether it's fixed fee up front or opportunity to win a prize that is very fair value for the amount of work you're asking them for up front. And then I think the 3rd piece is education, and that's something I'm sure everyone's working on here, is just creating these feedback loops. We're really working hard to create resources that young and up-and-comers can use to hone their craft and capabilities. So I think it's a combination of all three of those things, because ultimately this is a potential alternate workforce. You know, people don't necessarily need to have a day job when this succeeds. And in addition to that, even if this isn't your profession, if it's your passion, this creates an incredible opportunity. And I agree, we've only just scratched the surface, and there are so many people. You know, you think of LA, and every second person's writing a screenplay. I mean, you know, every second person's got a great advertising idea for Harley Davidson, it seems. So you know, we can really start to tap into that. So I think it's only just begun. I would sing that, but
One
nobody really
of the
wants.
key things about incenting a crowd is certainly you want to pay for the relative value. You know, if you're asking people to contribute to a nonprofit, a good idea, they're not expecting anything back. But if you're asking the crowd to contribute something that's going to be worth a lot to somebody, then the incentive needs to be, you know, aligned with that. So that's one thing. The other thing is that it's just good practice with a crowd to spread the incentives around. If you have a crowd of people working collaboratively to evolve ideas and suggest them, not everybody's going to have the personality type to put their idea out for public discourse. Some people aren't comfortable with that. They will comment or suggest ways to improve other people's ideas, or they may just vote and weigh in that way. And all of those are forms of contribution that should be recognized. So your incentive system should be set up so that everybody can earn incentives. You know, obviously the person who comes up with that breakthrough idea may get a higher level of incentive, but everybody should be able to get some benefit out of it. And that's, of course, something we're all still experimenting with and learning about.